What do theme park enthusiasts and Taylor Swift fans have in common? I'm guessing it's a large amount of speculation that is somewhat wrong, but is also partially correct. They both read too deep into things and fall into a large rabbit hole of information. However, they still have evidence to back it up. So are some things done on purpose, or is it all just coincidence? So today we are going to be reading deep into the lore of Alton Towers' Dark Forest, and specifically their two new scare attractions for Halloween, Dark Hollow and the Edge of the Woods. Stick around till the end, as we will be discussing what may be inside the maze.
No toying around.
Thy lost soul belongs.
Let the fun begin.
Oh, bless.
So recently, Alton Towers announced that there will be two new scare attractions that will be joining their Scarefest lineup. Dark Hollow, which is a free-to-enter scare zone, and the Edge of the Woods, which is their brand new scare maze, featuring a brand new creature known as Leshwal. So these will be joining the lineup of the two paid mazes, which is Compound and Tiny's Revenge, or Altonville Mine Tours, and their free-to-enter Burial Grounds, which is another scare zone. For families, Amigos in the Afterlife is also an option, along with... what's it called now? Along with Trick or Treat Town. Also, what's expected to be returning is on-park entertainment such as the Alton Ancestors or the Freaky Friends. To begin with, I love to see such a huge event lineup this year. This time, Fright Night certainly does have a new competitor. The trailers also look dead top quality yet again, and it just proves when Alton Towers do something, they do it at the highest quality. No matter how you perceive this park, this Scarefest is going to turn out to have the quality it deserves. This year we definitely have everything. We have that Alton Towers trademark quality back, and I couldn't be any more happy with it, to be honest. On the flip side, I'm not naive about what's been going on with entertainments at the minute and their struggles. It's just mad to think that CBeebies Land and Alton Bear are the only in-house entertainment at the minute, and then the rest is external. RWS Global, which is the new company, are doing Scarefest this year, so it'll be interesting to see what changes there will be. I mean, looking at the Edge of the Forest, I'm unsure to see if that was still part of the internal stuff that was planned a couple of years ago, or if this is completely new by the company. I've always loved in-house stuff, you know. Compound was absolutely amazing last year. I loved it so much, and I'm really holding out for the quality of the park to remain consistent. I do have a lot of faith, and I really do hope that everything works out in the future. But with that being said, let's zoom into these trailers that the park have put out considering the new attractions. So this year we first had the announcement of Dark Hollow, which is their brand new scare zone. From the trailer you can hear the voices of the 13 girl, who's quite a mysterious character that not many people know about. So some people say she's loosely based off Molly Lee, which is a local witch, the Witch of Burslem, which is in Stoke-on-Trent, which is right next to Alton Towers if you don't know. She made an appearance in the Alton Towers dungeon. She was the finale ghost show. Molly Lee also made an appearance known as Molly Crow in a 2015 scare maze, a hooded maze known as The Haunting of Molly Crow. However, this is where it becomes a bit more interesting, because when you look at the trailer, people have seen this teddy bear that's been placed down on the table at the start, and people have said, hold on a sec, that looks like Alton Manor. I do agree with them, especially that bit where the tea's being poured. It's like a sort of tea party, which reflects off a scene in the queue line for Curse at Alton Manor. And on top of this, the attraction is called Dark Hollow. The area where 13 and Rita is known as Dark Forest. However, the path leading up, the spooky, like haunted path leading up to Gloomy Woods / Curse at Alton Manor, is known as Haunted Hollow, which to me sort of implies a crossover, really. Is the 13 girl actually Molly Lee, or another idea that Emily Alton is actually the 13 girl when she's older? I mean, in the original trailer for the roller coaster 13, we see this girl walking through the forest where she's like taken in by the roots. And at the end of Alton Manor, we don't really see where Emily goes. In the story, it just says that Emily disappears, and in all the marketing after the party. That makes me think that she's gone off somewhere. She's walking through the forest. Maybe she uses the pathway of Haunted Hollow, walks through the forest to locate the crypts, which would make sense, which is why the gravestones talk, because Emily has possessed the gravestones and haunted them. If you go down that path, it does lead over to the 13 crypts. It's all the gardens, it's all the forest. And when she gets to the crypts, she uncovers and summons these demons known as the Wraiths, which are the spooky hooded figures that you see in 13. They appeared in Festival of Thrills in 2021? Either 2021 or 2022 they appeared. And that also is what happens to the guests on Roller Coaster. They explore the forest, and then the floorboards creak and it uncovers the crypts where the wraiths are. Could it be possible that this is older Emily Alton trying her best to curse you as you managed to escape Alton Manor years ago when she was a child? She still wants to curse you, and she's using the wraiths to curse you. Is that possible? I don't know. But outside the lore, we haven't really been told where this new scare zone will be. Either Dark Forest or Haunted Hollow is where my bets are. It just says on the website that it's a free flow, which means you can walk more freely. So instead of burial grounds where it's got a set route, you can walk in and out whichever route you want. I'm probably reading too much into it, and it may just be a way of saying, oh, some characters are going to be walking around Dark Forest again, like they did in the past, 2010, 2011, when 13 recently opened. I don't know, but I'm very glad to see Dark Forest is getting the love it deserves. Moving on to the edge of the woods, I'm going to give you a whistle-stop tour of all the information that theme park enthusiasts and everyone has worked out. So when the Compound 2025 trailer was released, there was a sticky note on the side of the CCTV screens that said Leshwall, and there was a half-eaten apple. Knowing that Leshwall is the creature within the edge of the forest, this shows that a big Easter egg was revealed quite early on. He appears again in the Scarefest 2025 trailer on a missing poster. It resembles a creature from Slavic folklore known as Leshy. So Leshy was a nature guardian who was quite playful. He played tricks on people, made people lose where they were going, but however, when they were angered, he would be treacherous. With the half-eaten apple on the desk, it shows that nature has been disturbed technically by the phalanx. It shows that Leshwall would be angry, being the guardian of nature. On top of this, in Slavic tradition, Leshy's feast day is when people would show gratitude to the nature guardian by giving him gifts and offerings, and all the animals would join together. And this date would have been September 27th every year. And what day does Scarefest begin? Oh yes, that is right, September 27th. This leads me to believe that if no one shows gratitude to Leshwall or doesn't recognise him, he will be angered from that day onwards. It shows a lot about the demon's intentions and why he is angry. We don't know really how it links to the Dark Forest wraiths and all the different scare zones coming this year, but it shows it's all happening in the forest and it's all quite supernatural. And in true Star Wars fashion, it does say that the maze is a Dark Forest story. So what can we expect to see within this maze? I'm really hoping we have a beautiful cottage facade or something like that hide the warehouse nature of the maze, because it's meant to look natural. So something similar to Darkest Depths where they had the pub, but Compound could get away with it being a military building. But we want the edge of the forest to look like the edge of a forest. It may be possible to have the entrance where the old zombies scare zone entrance was, to the left of the main entrance to Dark Forest. To the left of there was a door. It's round the back of all the food blocks that leaves space for a queue, possibly a pre-show, or just to simply hide the entrance of the maze and make it look more authentic like you are in the forest. This also leaves the run out on show if you're leaving the other side where the Darkest Depths entrance used to be, which is a great advert for the maze itself. I think a highlight of Scarefest is getting to see people's run outs. You didn't have that in the attic, didn't really have that in Compound, just because it was so hidden away. So the only maze you can really have it is Tiny's Revenge, so people will want to head to that. But if Alton Towers want to sell this brand new maze, which costs £2 extra than the other mazes if you're buying a one shot, you would want it to be on show. You want it to be advertised quite well. Because it mentions getting lost in the forest, it is a possibility that the finale may be a free flow maze similar to survival games. But I'm hoping that the walls aren't as bland. I hope it's more beautifully themed if they do that. I think they might, just because it's saying you will get lost in the forest. Leshwall will mess with your mind, which means the path could change similar to survival games. I'm hoping that the layout won't be the same as survival games. I'm hoping for something completely new. I would much prefer something like Subspecies. That was extremely intense. You could get lost in there for ages. I never did it, but I heard amazing things about it. Also, on top of this, survival games just feels too playful and fun. I don't want something that playful and fun. Alton Towers does do well with darker themes like we have seen with Subspecies. Compound does feel a bit playful, like your mates are sort of messing around. Same with Tiny's Revenge, that felt too like jokey and playful. Same with the attic as well. Alton Towers could do with some more darker themes like Daz Games. It's definitely not dark enough. I think that this will definitely be dark enough, and adding some more sinister stuff will really up the quality of Scarefest because we have a variety, and you can have different intensity levels like we had back in the day, where you used to rate it out of the pumpkins, with 5 pumpkins being the most intense and less amount of pumpkins being less intense for more family friendly things. And also finally, multiple interactions with Leshwell will work well, because this build up will be so good if the first part of the maze is watch out for this creature, you see all the effects it's had on other people, and then if you only see him once, like the attic, people came out feeling underwhelmed that you just see the devil once, like is that the finale, is that it? But if you see Leshwell multiple times, I think it'll be much nicer. It works well in Compound when you see the Nemesis younglings for the first time, and you get multiple scares out of them because you can get them in different rooms. And in an ideal world, we would all love Halloween Horror Night standard theming, but still keeping the UK charm of providing actors the space and the freedom instead of giving them set things to do and say and keeping it on repeat. Halloween Horror Nights is still an amazing event. But I do think that mazes, or houses as America calls them, are just better in the UK because actors are given more freedom, and they don't have to stand around saying the same things over and over and over again. But yeah, that's all I really do have to say. So if you've enjoyed this sort of content, make sure to like, and if you're feeling generous, to subscribe to show me that you are enjoying it. My t-shirt range is still out, including this signature black tee that's on screen now, along with the rest of the silly shirts, jumpers, mugs, and even a cheeky tea towel we made last video. So if you want to go and check that out, the link will be in the description, and I really hope we will be releasing some more soon. So thanks for watching. I've been Aiden, also known as the official theme park lover, and I will see you all next time. Happy Halloween.
No toying around.
Thy lost soul belongs.
Let the fun begin.
Oh, bless